RaiderKnight. Today we're going to be playing some Age of Civilizations, but we're doing something a little bit different. As you can tell, the map, it does not look normal. But we are playing the World War II scenario, but instead of just playing the regular scenario in a sandbox mode, AI battle, I wanted to see what would happen if we just did random borders. So again, everything is completely random. America is a mess. I don't know what's going to happen, and why are there so, like, there's no way a country could run like this with, it's literally split completely in half. Canada is pretty much just the Midwest now. Guatemala, for whatever reason, has a massive colony that is just California, and Mexico took back Texas, so again, Bolivia is pretty, there's actually not a lot of change here. At least is not as much as you'd think. But the only real change is like Bolivia. They're pretty much like the Brazil now. So it's, instead of Brazil, it's just Bolivia. And aside that, I think other than like Ecuador and a couple changes, obviously, in small territories, there's really, I think this continent is actually roughly not going to be that much different. But who knows? Another noteworthy change is that France is kind of weird looking in this, as well as the Belgian Congo, and even Afghanistan is looking like Afghanistan is looking like the strongest country right now. They literally split the entire continent of Asia in half, from Asia and Europe and the Middle East, and not to mention their massive colony over here and in India. So Afghanistan definitely is going to be a powerhouse. And Mongolia, also very united over here. Another strong country, as well as China, which owns a lot of the Southeast Asian territory. You got Japan, which looks kind of weak. Nepal, obviously, looks whatever. Saudi Arabia has a small colony. Portugal has a lot of colonies, and overall, you know, Germany is looking pretty crazy. So it's just going to be a really interesting game. I want to see what happens, and let's begin. But yeah, let's jump right into it. Turn number 1. Let's actually go like 5 turns in the future, like I always do. But so Australia has actually retaken a lot of this from China, so we will have a united Australia. Surprisingly, with Australia was looking pretty weak for a little bit. Mongolia defeated some of Japanese territory, and they are now battling for complete control of Eastern Asia against Tanatuvu. China is going to have to wake up if they're going to survive. Afghanistan looking really strong still. Iran surprisingly invading the Soviets, and Germany has mostly just been working in the north. And Portugal may collapse and become Spain, surprisingly enough. And France is not doing that bad, but the Belgian Congo is doing bad, and the South Africans are doing pretty good. In South America, obviously, again, nothing really was going to happen. We already knew these were going to be the big powers in South America. Mexico not doing very good. And the USA looking like it will control North America, unless Guatemala wakes up or something, I don't know. They already control Greenland as well. Pretty interesting. Afghanistan is currently number 1. The Nazis are 2nd, USA is 3rd, Bolivia 4th, and Republic of China 4th/5th. So let's speed it up to turn number 10. So on turn 10, the Belgian Congo is pretty much done for. South Africa doing very good. Afghanistan doing really good. As well as Mongolia looking like they have the advantage, but I'm not sure. And actually, surprisingly, China has defeated Australia, which that's kind of interesting. So a lot of things going on in Asia, as well as Turkey, surprisingly, getting pretty powerful. Spain collapsed, apparently. And Portugal is pretty much done for as well. It looks like the Nazis were having some issues, but then they decided to work on the east, or I mean not the east, the west, before they move out east. Iran is actually fighting Turkey, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. I think it's going to be probably an Iran victory. And in the New World, we have the USA having some issues, and Canada. Actually, Guatemala is looking pretty good. Canada isn't doing that bad either. But it does look like it is anybody's game in North America. Same with South America, really still anybody's game. So I think we're going to speed it up until turn 15. Or should we go to, let's go to turn 15. So the number one country, all the countries are still the same for the most part. USA and Guatemala looking really strong. USA in particular are looking like they're going to win. Unless Guatemala needs to wake up. Bolivia looking like the South American leader, and USA looking like they're going to win in the north. In Africa, we're finally seeing a lot of it finally unifying for the first time, with France controlling a lot of the western front, Afghanistan still holding their colony with an iron fist, and South Africa trying to do something. The Saudis, surprisingly, have had a comeback, and again, it's looking like Iran has won the war against Turkey. Nazi Germany won its war against Portugal, and overall they're looking pretty good. Afghanistan, though, could have some issues against Mongolia, which has defeated Tenatuvu, but is also having some issues against Japan. And then China, again, they are doing alright. For whatever reason, they're at war with Britain then. I didn't see that, but apparently it's kind of random. So let's speed it up to turn number 20. So, turn 20. China is looking really unified right now in Asia. First thing I see. Japan has, for the most part, defeated Mongolia. Surprisingly, Japan has made a massive comeback. Afghanistan also doing alright. They're really rebuilding. Iran doing incredible. They might even defeat the Nazis, but for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the Nazis thought it was smart to go into Africa again, because that was working great last time you did that. Union of South Africa is not really gaining too much. And it looks like actually Bolivia is having some issues now. They are gaining against Argentina, but they got Guatemala, the new threat to the north. Canada still somehow a country, despite... What? And Ireland... Okay, Ireland is invading Greenland. USA needs to wake up now, jeez. Speed up to turn 25. Actually, let's go to turn 30, not too much really happened. I want to have a massive change, so see what happens. So China is having some issues with Afghanistan and Japan at the same time, so that's going to be pretty hard for them to win, but it looks like it could be pretty close. It looks like whoever wins this war will be the world power, unless, you know, the Nazis get involved, because they defeated Iran pretty easily for the most part, but Iran still has this up north, so we can't completely rule them out yet. Ireland's pretty much been defeated, even losing Iceland, so America is looking very united for the first time. And of course, Guatemala versus Bolivia is the big war in the south. I think Guatemala could rule the entire world if they go fast and defeat Bolivia. France having some issues, and once again, the Saudis surviving despite looking really weak. So I think we're going to go all the way to turn 40. And a lot has happened for turn 40. the Nazis are the new world power, essentially. So that's kind of interesting. China has survived quite a bit. The Empire of Japan's doing really good. Afghanistan's looking incredible. I don't know how they keep this colony. I think nobody just wants to attack them. The Saudis continuing to win in Africa. And again, not too much more aside from that. Iran's still a country somehow. But Nazis are gaining land against them. So it's only time before we see the Nazis invade Afghanistan, I think. So that'll be a pretty big deciding factor. And Guatemala is kind of falling apart, as we half predicted, half didn't predict. But it will be interesting who will win, Bolivia or the USA. I think the USA definitely has the advantage at the moment, but it could depend on a couple things. So let's go to turn 50. And we are at turn 50. The number one power in the world is now Afghanistan, and the USA is second, so it is looking like China will be destroyed. And I really blame Germany. Germany should have attacked a lot earlier, but instead they fooled around too much with Africa and Iran, so definitely looks like Afghanistan will win if, again, Germany doesn't wake up. France gaining a little bit of land, and the Saudis are losing. Really, Africa has just been boring to watch. I thought they were going to be one of the most interesting areas in this game, but it's just been going back and forth between the countries. It's kind of boring. Haiti is doing whatever they're doing. USA, though, looking like they will beat Bolivia. USA and Mongolia probably are looking like our world powers, unless, again, the Nazis step it up. So I think we're just going to really just click the button quite a bit and see what happens. It's looking pretty slow so far, so again, not really too much going on. The USA is winning against Bolivia for the most part. The Nazis going into North Africa, and as we predicted, Afghanistan defeated China and will probably be the world power. So yeah, and for whatever reason, Haiti is winning against the United States. Just kind of pathetic. But if you look at Germany, they're currently winning. So that's kind of interesting. Germany can still win, don't get me wrong. I kind of want to see if America will cross the ocean. It's more likely that America would attack the Nazis, but it is kind of, yes, they are at war with the Nazis already, so we will see an American war with the Nazis, and we'll see what happens with America in the old world. I think this is America's game for sure. They've really been just doing incredible, and a lot better than I thought they would. Yeah, it looks like America is gaining in Europe, but they are also getting pushed back quite a bit. Mongolia has taken all of Africa, so really America has helped Mongolia win this war for sure. What are you doing, America? You're literally letting Mongolia take over the entire old world. This is America's fault that they are losing right now. Yeah, America, you just screwed up. You just gave Mongolia control of the entire old world. What are you doing? This is gonna be Mongolia's game. They've won. Pretty incredible how America managed to mess that up so badly. So that turn took forever to load, but it is here. Afghanistan has a massive plus 100 province advantage. I really think it's over, so I think instead of loading these really slow turns, we're just going to call it. They have 100 province advantage, so I do think it's over. Overall, Afghanistan clearly has won, and the USA is a close second. hopefully you enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.